I'm doing some basic screenwriting 101 short videos here. Those of you who have worked with screenplays, actors, directors, producers, whatever, you used to this. So this is just for those who asked me a little bit about screenplay structure. There's two parts. Well, there's several parts of the screenplay, but the main body of it is dialogue, which is self-explanatory. And then there's action. And the action is such as, at the top of this page, this is taken from Whole Self In, when Jonathan, the chef, arrives at the mansion up in Maine, and Julie, the nurse, he runs into her for the first time. So it says, Julie is a 33-year-old wholesome beauty with strawberry blonde hair. She's wearing a tight-fitting white nurse's uniform, complete with nylons and white rubber-soled shoes. Jonathan clears his throat. Julie quickly turns. In her hand are the remnants of the previous night's poached salmon. Jonathan smiles. Hi. Hi is dialogue. Before that description of Julie and them running into each other is action. Then we continue with more action. Julie tries to speak but can't because her mouth is full of food. She holds up one finger to Jonathan, asking him to wait a moment as she hurriedly chews her food. Jonathan smiles, leans against the doorway. She swallows the last mouthful. Julie says, I am so sorry. You must think I'm a total slob. Jonathan smiles. Actually, I'm flattered that someone is eating the food around here. How's the salmon? Julie shuts the refrigerator door, walks right up to Jonathan with her hand extended. In her other hand, she's still holding a chunk of salmon. She shakes his hand. This is not salmon. He says, afraid so. I hate salmon. It tastes too fleshy. Jonathan walks over, opens the refrigerator. He reaches in, takes out a small container of dill sauce. He holds the sauce up to her. She dips the remaining salmon into the sauce. Now more dialogue. Try it. She takes a big bite of the sauce-covered salmon. Her eyes widen as she reveals it, as she revels in the taste. Jonathan says, the fish gets a bad rap. You don't hate it. You hate the chefs who prepare it. Julie, in appreciation. Oh my God. Jonathan, I was almost thrown out of here last night because of that sauce. He hands her a napkin. She wipes her mouth. I'm Jonathan. I just arrived yesterday. Julie, I'm Mrs. Baxter's nurse, visiting nurse. You do have a lot of patients around. Do you have a lot of patients around these parts? She stops to think for a moment. So see how the action is simple, to the point? A big mistake a lot of writers make when they start writing is they get too detailed. They may describe a room, say, well, there's a moose head hanging on one wall. On another wall, there's a big swordfish hanging on the other wall. The furniture is early Victorian. A couch sits, you could go on for 10 minutes describing a room, or you could just say, clearly early Victorian furniture, period. So that's it. That's just a simple thing about the difference between the action and the dialogue. Dialogue has to be kept real, but we'll get into that in another short video. That is about it on the difference between dialogue and action.